Now to the growing tensions on the Ukrainian border, where the sentiment on the ground is no longer if the Russian military will invade, but when, as the world braces for all-out war.
We're dealing with one of the largest armies in the world. This is a very different situation, and things could go crazy quickly.
This is a very, very dangerous, difficult situation. We are on the edge of a precipice.
You go to bed at night and you really do think, will I wake up to war in the morning?
For weeks now, thousands of Russian troops have been gathering on the Ukrainian border. Overnight, a kindergarten was reduced to rubble, and as our leaders warned that we're on the cusp of all-out conflict, those living in eastern Ukraine are getting ready.
Where I am now, we're very close to the front lines. I have body armour, which is out of shot, but I have protective gear. I've received first aid training from the military. I continue to refine my skills and learn.
Bryce Wilson was born in Australia, but is currently in Ukraine working as a photojournalist.
People here know very well the reality of this conflict, and I do get the feeling that in Ukraine, it's a matter of when, not if, the Russian military will invade Ukraine again.
130,000 Russian soldiers are now deployed along the Ukrainian border, with some stationed in Belarus, a Russian ally. Tanks and heavy artillery also part of the military build-up. The aggression, the result of a modern, independent Ukraine clashing with the vision of Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who sees Russians and Ukrainians as one people, according to Professor Marko Pavlishin, an expert in Ukrainian studies at Monash University.
He clearly envisages himself as standing in the tradition of expanding the territory of Russia to incorporate territories to its west in particular, but also to its east.
Sharing a border with Russia, Ukraine was part of the Soviet Empire until gaining independence in 1991. Ukraine is not a member of the Nato alliance, a treaty bringing Western Europe together with the US and Canada, in part aiming to limit Russian aggression. But as NATO has expanded east over the years, Ukraine aspires to become a member in the near future.
Ukraine has defined NATO membership as an absolutely key goal of its foreign policy, so much so that this objective is written into its constitution.
As a major oil producer, a Russian war could send petrol prices soaring. Earlier this month, oil already hit a 7-year price record. But for Australians with Ukrainian heritage, the impact is far more personal.
First and foremost, my worst fear is that tanks will come across the border and come really close to Dnipro, eastern Ukraine, to Krivyi. My family could be killed. I've never actually really thought about it until now. And then if they move further west, they get to Kyiv and, we're gone.
Australian-born Liana Slepetsky is an office bearer with Victoria's Association of Ukrainians. Her parents fled Europe after the Second World War, settling in a new country that offered freedom and opportunity.
Australia was a safe haven for them, not only to give them freedom, but to allow them to continue their language, culture and history. And for me, it's a cause that is very close to my heart.
It's a legacy Liana continues to fight for today, making T-shirts to raise awareness of the threat to Ukraine.
It is. It's up to every individual to not be afraid to speak out and to share the reality of what's going on and the reality of what could happen.
According to Professor Pavlishin, if conflict is to occur, Ukraine is not without its own defence.
Ukraine's military is much improved since 2014, and Ukraine's military now counts about 250,000 men and women in active service, as well as, and there are many reservists.
The Russian superiority in the air cannot be questioned.
Any attack involving the Air Force and rocketry would undoubtedly cause grave damage in Ukraine, including, of course, civilian lives.
Putin has form when it comes to attacking Ukrainian sovereignty. In February 2014, Russia took Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula, absorbing the territory into the Russian Federation. The UN would condemn the action, resolving that Russia should desist and refrain from actions aimed at the partial or total disruption of Ukraine's territorial integrity. A truce of sorts was signed in September 2014, but skirmishes and aggression has continued over the years.
We're still witnessing the war that has lasted since 2014 and that has cost 14,000 lives so far.
The situation, as you are all hearing as well, is deteriorating.
Earlier this week, Australia evacuated our embassy in Kiev, though there have been reports Russia has scaled back their troops. The UK government, for one, says this isn't true, but regardless, for now, the official Russian position is that there will be no invasion.
It claims that it wishes to achieve certain security guarantees and that it has no plans to invade Ukraine.
Do you believe that?
It certainly has plans to invade Ukraine. Whether it will move to implementing those plans, we don't know.